good afternoon. We're in for another week. Options Trading Pilot. This is for the week starting November 14th, 2021. But there's also some good information in case you don't catch this during this week. You can see here we're Options Trading Pilot. We help individuals understand and successfully apply investing techniques. We trade stock options, commodities, different futures and cryptos all week long, and we post out our trades in almost real time, sometimes before we trade them and exactly right after or as we're trading. And you can follow us here on YouTube, or you can come to our site, which is optionstradingpilot.com. See some of the things we do. We have one-on-one training if you like that. We also have subscription where you could buy in stock trading, options trading, and then the premium trading, which is stock options and commodities. So a lot to cover this week. So let's get into it. First, looking over here at some of the areas that I really like to watch. This is over here, Tasty Works. I watch a number of things that I'm really long on. I mean, we're hitting all-time highs in the markets. Small caps, I think, are still going to do very well. I'm waiting for that to break out. Real excited about cryptos still, commodities, and various coins, which we can all look at. So here's a few ideas that I have. If you look here, these are the items that I'm tracking and about either in or already about to get in. So the first one is soybeans. Soybeans, they're about ready to break out, I think. This is kind of a post-harvest, so this would be things that you could get into that I'm looking at here, buying into very shortly. And you can see here the breakout is clearly happening, but I want to see a little bit of follow through on that. And then I would be out in probably February timeframe, out getting long, meaning I want soybeans to go up. Another one is corn. And again, look at the IV rank here is 27, so I'm going to be a seller. Right now, corn is an IV rank of 5. Not a lot of interest there. I like to sell premium, but I think with corn, is kind of, if you look at the chart, it's kind of peaked in May. The resistance is at 589, and we're getting up to that point, you know, maybe where are we now? 577. So we have another day or two of up days, and I'm looking to get in long above 589 here. We're almost to that point. I think if we reach that, and we'll continue to probably 640, and then maybe an extended up a little bit over 700. And then if not, and it doesn't keep going at this point, I'll just trade the range, maybe with an iron condor. Something to say with all these commodities, and don't what I do with commodities, or what we do with commodities, is very similar from a mechanical standpoint of what we do with stock options. We look at delta, we look at IV rank, we look at volume, bid ask, but I would be remiss if I did not say that the currency markets and commodity markets move, and they can really move against you because there's a lot more potential leverage involved. So for me, smaller accounts, I want to trade spreads. I don't want to ever be naked in a corn, no matter how much I think I'm right. I'm wrong enough to know that a spread is a lot safer. You don't make as much, but you won't lose as much. So that's what we are with corn and soybeans. Both have a very bullish tendency. Now, if you don't have a commodities account, there's a fund called DBA. This is Invesco. it's a agricultural fund. And so they have corn, soybean, cotton, other agricultures in there. And these trade just like you have to, well, right now we don't have a bid and ask because the market's closed, but you can see 1 point wide strikes, and you can trade in here either with options, stock options, or just buy the underlying DBA directly. So going down this list here, silver and gold. Silver, actually gold's getting quite a run lately. So I've been watching that. Quite an up move in the sleepy metal that has not really done much over the last year, and it's finally waking up. Some of these commodity funds that I'm invested in that I really like, and I've been talking about, PDVC and DVC. They're a very wide index for commodities. They're a little bit heavier in oil than I'd like, but for right now, I'll take that run up in oil. TLT, long in interest rates, TLT goes down. So right now I'm short TLTs because I think interest rates will be going up. I'm also long interest rates on some derivative products. And the VXX is a measurement of volatility. So in general, if the market goes up, volatility goes down and vice versa. So I'm long on volatility. I think we'll have some more ups and downs, more volatility. And if we get more volatility, the VXX actually goes up. So I'm long volatility. So if I've confused you, sorry. So those are some of the main things at this point. Looking over at Bitcoin and some of the coins, there's some really cool stuff happening in that market. Let's see if these will load. So some of the things I like right now, if you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin's been on a tear. I like Ethereum, the Shiba Inu, if I said that correctly, and some of the other ones, Dodge, DOT, things like that. So many coins are moving up. But one of the biggest things that happened this last week with Bitcoin was there's probably their biggest upgrade in 4 years is a thing called Taproot, and it's really gives it more privacy and more efficiency, and so it allows for smart contracts, and these are contracts that live on the blockchain. And so by having a smart contract, this is a huge thing, and it's a primary driver in the innovation of the whole Ethereum network. I'm very long on Ethereum, and this is Ethereum's chart. It's hard to argue with that. I've done very well with Ethereum. So all I need to know really from a Bitcoin standpoint is more efficient, better. It's done so your keys won't have as much exposure on the chain, and that allows for more innovation. So more demand for coins, Bitcoin, more business applications, higher the price. And that's really what I'm focused on. And I was thinking a little out of the box today and actually thinking that crypto should be considered as another asset class. Now, of course, as you probably know, crypto is a lot more volatile. You can make a lot more, you can lose a lot more. The day-to-day changes are great, but I think it belongs in your riskier side of a portfolio if that meets your long-term objectives. And I can't tell you to invest in it or not. I'm just telling you I really like it. I think it's the wave of the future, and the future is here. And I think there's going to be a shakeout. I read there was 2,000 different coins. I don't think that's sustainable, but it will shake out, and there will be some clear winners. There is a Bitcoin ETF, which I don't like because of the contango nature of the underlying and how they invest. But there is a crypto, see if I can find this quickly. There is a futures program or a product called the cryptocurrency equity index futures contract. So you can actually trade, well, it doesn't have any options, but let me get to a chart. So you can actually trade a basket of cryptocurrencies in a futures contract. So it's somewhat of a derivative of a derivative of a derivative. But with that said, it's still there and it's tradable. And there's fairly good volume when it's open, which right now is just during normal hours. That's one negative of it, is it's not a 24-hour trading tool like you can with cryptos now 24/7. But there's a lot of products out there. So again, I'll wrap it up. Guillermo will talk about some other things. We do have a lot of earnings this week with some pretty big names that kind of finish out earnings seasons. We have RIOT, Walmart, SE, BABA, JD, FTCH, Workday, Foot Locker, Home Depot, Lowe's, and Target. So I'm not sure. I haven't looked at all the details of how we like to trade and what we're looking at as far as IV rank, bid-ask spread, volume, and what kind of strikes they are providing in the markets. But so a lot to do this week, a lot to look at, and hopefully make a little money. Thanks for joining.
Okay, John, thank you so much. This is Guillermo at the Options Trading Pilot. Welcome again. John went over a few things that were really important as far as when you are trying to plan for the week. Obviously, we're going to take a look at some other things as far as like today, this earnings week, and what we have gone through our charts before, which is like, hey, what's coming in vogue? What should we be trading outside of earnings? And I'm also going to hit a few things in earnings, which are real quickly. We're going to look at RIOT and Home Depot. We're going to look at a strange one called NUAN, and I'll explain why we're going to do that. We're also going to be looking at AAP and Baidu. And then my favorite stock of all time so far is NVIDIA, just because that's done really well for me. And maybe real quickly, if we have time, we'll take a look at CSCO. So let's get started. So as you can see, our weekly review, we're looking at the favorable industry for the week. It looks like it's again semiconductors, and you can see that we are coming in vogue with the telecom and the airline industry. So just hold on tight, because that pairs up nicely with one of the other slides that we'll look at. And so if we look at the semiconductor, you can see it just continues to go up. This is a really nice pattern here, and we should continue to see it rising up. So make sure you do those trades so that you can benefit nicely. And natural gas, we got to take a look at it because it was a hard driver and it's kind of pulled back a little bit, but I just think it's just collecting steam to move forward. So do take a look at that, because it may be coiling up to hit back up to its higher highs. So the SPY, again, we had a few 1, 2, 3, 4 days of where maybe it might want to go down, but it would clearly show on Friday that it wants to continue its upturn, thereby verifying my bullish outlook, at least for this quarter. Its seasonality tells us that that's the case. And then looking at the weekly, very strong, right? Just it continues to go up. So as you can see, that still strongly moving up. And so the next thing is, like John talked about, is the VIX. The VIX, whenever market goes up, volatility goes down, and you can clearly see that at the bottom there, on the bottom right-hand corner. It took a tumble down, and so we should continue to see that. It should visit its low. So plan accordingly on that. And I think we're going to stay there. And I just wanted to hit real quickly a few things and just talk about trading overall and as far as like education. So let's talk a little bit about that before I get into these more tactical trades and how I'm looking at them now. Obviously, whenever I tell you this is what I'm thinking, it can change because price action and volume as the week comes in just really changes a lot of things for us. So always keep in mind that everything that I tell you here is like it can change. So one of the things that I always want to talk about trading is that we focus here on trading small and trading often, and we do prefer to sell premium, which means that we're going to get the premium up front. So we do that when the implied volatility is high, and that means that we're getting enough bang for our buck, which means the risk that we're taking is going to pay us back. That also allows us to, like John said, trade with spreads, credit spreads. And the reason we like trading with credit spreads because it already has a trading plan already in hand as you trade it. It already gives you a max loss and what your max gain is. And how we do it here is that we don't let it get to that max gain. We don't go to the final days to expiration. And you can learn more at Options Trading Pilot, either by joining our Discord or by training with us one-on-one. So that's one of the things that we really want to focus on, and that's because the probability of winning those trades goes way up, especially when you do credit spreads and they're a little bit out of the money. So there's more technical aspect to that that you can do. Now, obviously, you won't make as much money as if you buy a call at the money or in the money, and that thing tends to go up, right? If it goes up, then you're right. But the problem is that your probability is like unidirectional, which means I can only win if it goes my way. So if you buy a put and it doesn't go down, you're not going to win that trade. And if you buy a call and it doesn't go up, then guess what? You're not going to win that trade. So the way we do it is we try to stack the odds on our side. We create a buffer, we sell credit. And so even if we're wrong, we're able to sometimes capture that trade. Put it this way, even if that trade goes really against us, but there's an implied volatility decrease, then we can still win that trade. Now you got to keep your eyes open when that happens, but that's how we're able to get 80 to 90% correct trades on that type of trade. Now, obviously, I'm going to go over a few ideas here and what I call our home run trade strategy. And I don't mean, hey, let's make all our money in one day, but it's like just getting enough an amount of trading so that as far as trading dollars, so it can make a nice difference for the month in case it does hit. If it doesn't hit, guess what? It's not that big of a deal. So I'll go over a couple of those ideas and just keep an eye on that. One of the things that really has hit really nicely for us is, we talked about AMC a little bit ago. AMC ended up being a really, really nice trade for us. We ended up buying contracts at around 5 and we sold our last contract at 52. And that's part of like the trader, right? Like we're not gamblers. As a trader, it's like you want to take off risk as soon as possible and that is profitable. So, one of the ideas that you really got to get good at is like know your prices. Like, hey, I'm getting out this price and if it goes down, and I'm getting at this price if it goes up. And sometimes that cuts you at the knees where you don't take the full breath of the win. But again, your trades, you got to know what kind of trade you're doing when you're entering the trade. Is it a scalp? Is it a medium-term trade? If it's a longer-term trade? And so sometimes if you trade with enough contracts, specifically with option, then maybe you can turn some of those trades into longer term trades where you do have a trailing stop. So, but if you're only trading one contract at a time, I do suggest that you take your target 1, your target 2 numbers and go from there. But again, the market's there to take your money. It's a zero-sum game. There's another guy on the other side of that trade that thinks opposite than you do, and maybe not another guy, but another machine. And so basically you don't want to be in the market too long because you'll probably end up losing. It's kind of like when you're having a good run and you don't want to end it, but at the same time you know that your luck's going to run out. So that's kind of the way I see it. So let's focus a little bit on some of these trades. So let me shift over a little bit into my Thinkorswim. Excuse me, I had that same cough. And it's pretty much at this time that I get it. So it's really weird. I had that all day. So we will start with, real quickly, my PowerPoint. All right, so we have RIOT. RIOT is coming out on Monday afternoon. And so let's take a look at what RIOT's been doing. Obviously, it's crypto based. We should expect it to be to do really well. You know, if we look at the 5 minutes on Friday, it really attacked that line really nicely over the last few days. This was on 4 o'clock on Friday. It hasn't done anything, but you can see 230 really hit really nicely going up. What is done weekly, that's what we like to see. Very strong move on the weekly basis, on the daily basis, also very strong. You can see some of the things that we like to look at is you know, it's like if you look at this pattern, you know, it's like really nice bull right here. This new, you can see that once it goes over here, we should expect that breakout on that next point that really hits home, right? It's like it'll probably be this Fibonacci line and perhaps even more. That's already a nice return. If we get to 51, that's around a 7-point return on a $44 trade. So I always like to compare other trades that have already experienced earnings, and you can see what a nice move it had. Nice move up. So we should anticipate now. I call shenanigans because you know, the powers that be will sometimes punish you, right? They'll punish you for getting into this trade early. So let's say you're in this trade already, and you're expecting for this Monday afternoon or Monday, you want to get on a Monday, you want to run up. I bet you that there's games that might play that it'll actually drive the price of this down, and then we'll fully get that return up. But you know, that happened to a firm, right? A firm last week. I mean, wow, what a ride. Look at this. Look at this. That's fantastic. We saw it get punished as it came to earnings, and on earnings it had really good earnings and it hit up, but now it's way down from where it hit like after earnings. So really a phenomenal ride. So I don't want to linger too much, but again, we should expect nice earnings. We should expect this to continue to go up. Cryptocurrencies keep on this super bullish run right now. Inflation is really hitting up. We got those numbers last week. And so when we look at those numbers and we look at where the money is flowing, look, I've been in gold and silver for a long time. They've done nothing. I understand they're starting to break out. I mean, just really it's just a quick look at gold that you can see is a nice breakout that it's having. We should see that go up, but gosh, if we look at this and we look at what the Federal Reserve M2 money stock has been doing over the last 10 years, this should really be way beyond, and it hasn't happened. So the question is, what are the factors? Is there manipulation happening? You know, we can never verify that, but there are other things, right, that can be happening, which is maybe the inflation money that we would anticipate in the traditional hedge against inflation is flowing into cryptos, because when you look at the cryptocurrencies, yeah, I'm gonna do it here, but you know, a good one. Yeah, I won't pull it up because I'll have to go to another share, but this is a mining company for cryptos. So you can see that's really done nicely coming up here. You see how hard that hit, and we should anticipate this moving up here pretty soon. So anyway, long story short is I am bullish on RIOT. I do anticipate our favorable earnings report, and so we should see this drive up. But if you're a longer term investor, it's a really good entry point right now, so I would go ahead and do that. Now, I'm not going to go into detail why I'm going to highlight AAP. Just know that I will be trading this significantly. I'm going to use a different strategy to trade this. Come visit us so I can give you the full details. But AAP, the car company, just car company has been done well, so I'm bullish on it. So I would expect really nice ride on this. So nice ride on a car company. Yeah, I thought you'd get that. Okay, let's look at HD. HD, you know, renovation, home, supply chain issues, right? That could hurt the earnings. Really more difficult trade, right? Why is that? Because it's driven up really nicely. You know, this is October. Look at it, then it's just stayed here at this point. So why do I call it a difficult trade? But for all we know, right, inflation should be driving the price of this up. But have you been to Home Depot lately? I have, and I've been to Lowe's, and there's just some stuff you can't find, right? There's some stuff that's gone up like so much. Take a look at PVC pipes. Take a look at the wall sockets, the back end. There's some that they just don't have them. I mean, the guy tells me, oh yeah, stuck in some ship outside of California, apparently. So really, really fascinating. But am I bullish? Yeah, I'm bullish. So, but I wouldn't make a heavy bet on this. I'm probably a little more confident on RIOT, even though I do anticipate some games to be played there. But HD, I am bullish. I probably take a bullish stance. It's hard to go with any bear, right? Like I can just pretty much blanket say, hey, I'm bullish with everything I'm going to show you. But what are you going to do? That's what the market is telling you. The question is, are you ready when it comes down? And so let me take a pause here real quickly. So you know, as far as an investor, which is, you know, just to explain, an investor is way different than a trader. An investor is there for a long haul. So an investor is looking for long-term trades to move. An investor is really looking at to capture a passive income. Whereas us traders, when we're trading, we're working. I mean, I'm in front of my screens. I know a lot of people and gurus try to tell you, hey, you just trade for 10 minutes a day. And I'm like, okay, yeah, there's some trades you can do like that way, but just gosh, be careful. You'd have to like really trade very small if you're going to do that. But overall, like a trader is not a passive trader investor. It's like you're working, right? You're analyzing, looking at things. And I saw a really interesting video, which is I kind of liked it because it simplified things and it said, hey, what's your job? Your job is to put the trade in and take the trade out. You know, everything else is like rely on the computing power that you have on the internet, on the information, and so then use that to your advantage to move forward. And I'm taking time out to say this because a lot of people think they're investors and they're really traders, and there's traders that think they're investors. That's just not the case. So in the end, what we're trying to do as traders is capture high returns with a lot of work and prevent those losses. So these earnings trades are really, really dangerous, and it's I haven't done the analysis, but I'm just going to say, just by anecdotal and me experiencing what I've seen over the last couple of weeks in the earnings trades, the moves are incredible. Like we've had incredible moves in the last year, but the number of companies that have had significant moves when the earnings are reported are incredible, and some of them go way against than when you anticipated, right? And so what I'm telling you here is that what I would expect, and I'm using my background of looking at all the things that we've mentioned earlier, which is like, hey, where's the volatility index? What are the futures and commodities doing? What are those things telling us? And so when we take the broad spectrum of that and how these specific companies fit into that, along with the current price action, then we would anticipate the things that I'm telling you. But we also understand that there's manipulation. I mean, I'm sorry to say that. Some people would probably like yell at me for saying that, but look, the reality is the reality. The business, the exchange is a private organization, right? That is trying to make money. And so just like a private organization, I'm borrowing from Anna Cowling. I really like her book. You know, I don't get paid for it, but really good book if you don't understand price action. So, you know, there's some really good words in there, very smart. So I take that, and she's borrowing from, I think Nay is the last name, which is an early book that everybody should read. So anyway, long story short, HD, I'm bullish. I'll probably take the way it's looking, maybe an iron condor, but given just the nature of the market at this point, maybe just do bull puts. I'll probably take them further out if I get paid enough. I don't know what the IV is. Let me take a quick look what the implied volatility is, just so you know where it's at. Yeah, wow, 45.6 IVR rank. So yeah, I'll be selling pretty well on that. That's nice. Okay, next one. I don't want to linger too long. Wait, I do have to talk about any ANY. Why? Because it's been really nice. That's been a nice trade over the last few weeks for me. I jumped up all the way to 11, 12 almost on 9.2. It does look bullish, as you can see. Maybe consolidation. Maybe. I mean, you can see that my strategy here has a golden cross breakout, golden cross 0. So they're taking out the trade, but that's it. There's no earnings. So it's sitting at an interesting point here. Let's take a look at the weekly. What's the weekly? Is very bullish, as you can see. All right. Not going to change. I'm still going bullish, right? Friday, let's look at the 15-minute. Yeah, there's a little bit with downturn on Friday, as you can see. It's not big. So anyway, I would take this bullish. I like it because, as you can see, you can trade this and it's fairly inexpensive. Good idea on that. Perhaps you might want to sell some puts on this. This is nice right here. This is a nice trade. That should it pays off nicely. All right. So yeah, I'd be bullish on it. What's the other one that I want to see? For no direct reason, I want to show all my cards, right? I want you to visit me at our Discord site. Go to our website, optionstradingpilot.com, and come meet us. Ask me questions. Ask John questions. We're here to help you and to get better, and so that you can have a transformation in life, so that money is not your master, so that you're mastering money. So LZB, I really like LZB right now. Yeah, look, 15 minutes bullish, the weekly, very bullish. You can see very strong candle formations. Daily, looks 4 hours bullish. I mean, everything's bullish. This thing's crazy right now. Yeah, look, there's no resistance above 36.71. It visited that, it stopped. Nice little cup right here. I think we should see a nice return on that. So LZB, I'm very bullish. Let's go with that. And just as a hint, one other one. I'll just give you one other one. I read it. Maybe they're telling me not to give it to you. All right, here we go. This is just very interesting. Look, it's just cratering. Look at the RSI. The RSI has just been standing still, like in this range, right? Candle formations. This is the 15-minute. Let's look at the weekly. Boom. You get the hang of what I'm looking at? You see what I'm saying? It's one of the things that's important, by the way. Candle right here, and this one filled at above the 50% and went up. So you should see it continue to go up. Next little formation there. Just go up. Steady down on the 15-minute. Yeah, this is the one you get in early and you're like, oh my gosh, why did I get into early? Maybe they release something, somebody leaks something, they know something, but in the end, yeah, I'm bullish on it. You just gotta go with what you know. It can't be, yes, that's VREX. All right, Baidu. Chinese company, right? Baidu Inc. consolidating for a long time on the 1 minute. Sorry, wrong chart there. Hey, Dad, look at this. Punished, getting punished. Trying to get bullish on there. I think we're gonna see a nice little run. We're sitting at a good point. We're sitting right at value. You see that peak with this falling? It really wants to run up. Obviously bullish, right? I have not been bullish. I think last week I talked about one of them being neutral on it, but yeah, really, yeah. I'm taking a bullish trade on this. Yeah, we're taking a bullish trade on that for sure. All right, Cisco. Cisco is the internet, right? Backbone of the internet. Not sure. RSI, midpoint, falling flow. We're sitting at this very important point right now. This is the 15-minute. Look at the weekly. No, we're seeing this pattern quite a bit, right? Pattern recognition is really important, guys and ladies. All right, yeah, look at the 1 hour. 1 hour is interesting, right? Good trading level where you're sitting at. 56.82. You actually could buy the stock. Yeah. Cool thing about buying the stock obviously is that after hours you can trade it. Right. So is it coming out in the morning or in the afternoon? The afternoon on Wednesday. Okay. Nvidia. Love this company. Okay. I went for this ride. It'll come down, but I'm gonna tell you, man, like this one, just buy it, you know, for now at least. It's like creating the best chips. I know it's just the semiconductor industry is having issues, so chip having issues as far as supply, you know, all these computing issues are going to be problems. But in the end, crypto's going up. They mine crypto with these chips. So guess what? This will keep going. Even though it seems, so this is one of the things that I want to like tell you that I always have to remind myself. Just because you know, and I know, you can't assume that everybody around you knows about cryptos. I was talking to this kid where I was getting some ice cream. He's gamer, smart kid, you can tell. And I was like, hey, what do you know about crypto? You know, it's just having my anecdotal testing. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, do you know anything about NFTs? He's like, what is that? So it's just great because don't assume. I actually think that we're at the beginning stages and NVIDIA is going to be a huge recipient to that. So I know it seems high. You know, it's like after Tesla split and it came down to 500, people still thought it was high. Yeah. Do I think it's high? And no question. Yes, I do think that. But I'm also no fool, right? I know where things are going, so I'm going to get on that ride and take it. So I'm going to take this ride even further, right? I've been on that ride for a long time. So here we go. Bullish. Minute. Bullish. Now, last time we had earnings. Show that there. Last time we had earnings, if I remember correctly, Nvidia fell. So I think they like to play games, right? I really do. I think they like to play games on Nvidia. 3 months ago. Here we go. Last here earnings. This earnings. See that? There's this little rise the next day. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. Okay, it's okay to be wrong. Again, a little hint. It's like if you're going to be a trader, you're going to be wrong a lot. All right, just make sure you don't lose a lot of money when you're wrong, and make sure you make a lot of money when you're right. All right. I'm going to talk about Baba. Just want to give you an interesting one here. The closest Fitch. Last time I traded Fitch, I had a good ride. Candle on the weekly. Look at this RSI just jump up. Just must be air and earnings. Steady. Good to play both ways, by the way. Anyway, I'm going to close out with that. Just, hey, listen, trade, have fun trading. Make sure you set your stops. Okay. That will help you. Make sure you have your targets. And then the last thing is that it's the most important thing that I got to talk about. Fear of missing out. Yeah. Chase. If you play Halo 1 like I play Halo 1 and you're chasing the guy trying to kill you, guess what? You get killed. Well, here, don't chase. You know, it's just like if you miss a trade, an earnings trade, like Blink, I thought Blink was really I was bullish, but the way it moved before the earnings, it was spectacular. So I stayed out. And 18% gain after earnings. I didn't want to chase. And so guess what? I missed that. Anyway, hope you guys have a great trading week. I want you to be successful. Come visit us, visit our Discord, subscribe to us, like us. Have a great week.